Chapter 1: Building the Foundations of a Free and Fair Society. Leadership matters. In this changing, competitive global environment, good leadership, good governance, and good policies hold the answer to the success of a nation. Weak, ineffective, and visionless leadership is a sure way to become a failed state. Our nation's potential for greatness is immense. This potential can only be harnessed and achieved with the right leadership. The NPP sees the task ahead as twofold: transformational leadership and competent management of national affairs. By tackling our leadership and management weaknesses, we will unleash the talents of the Ghanaian people and build a great nation. Our leader and presidential candidate, Nana Akufo-Addo, is competent, committed, experienced, honest, and has a clear vision to lead the transformation of Ghana. Over the past 3 decades, he has been energizing Ghanaians to overcome obstacles to democracy and freedom. He has committed his life to the cause of enhancing the life and dignity of ordinary Ghanaians. Nana Akufo-Addo is determined to identify the best people and develop new talent from all walks of life to move Ghana forward. The agenda of transforming Ghana requires a presidency that would act as a force in driving the public sector and energizing the private sector. A presidency that will provide the vision, direction, and inspiration for us Ghanaians to excel. What the NPP is offering is a leadership that will deliver. We will govern with decisive action plans and timetables and allocate resources prudently. We will provide and implement policies, monitor the results, and be prepared to take corrective action to keep the agenda on track. We will lead this country from hopelessness to prosperity. It is critical that there's a strong sense of leadership direction which will also inspire people to act together for a common and mutually beneficial goal. Our presidential candidate, Nana Akufo-Addo, has declared his intentions to lead by example and communicate strongly the values of responsibility, fairness, and unity. We will transform our leadership to one that will serve all Ghanaians.
2. Good governance matters. Governance not only matters, it is critical in ensuring a country that works. Our inability to break entirely the bonds of poverty can be blamed on poor governance and how we do things. We definitely must change from a system that reinforces strong men to one that encourages and facilitates strong institutions. The NPP has an enviable record of good governance. Indeed, the principles of democratic accountability, rule of law, respect for human rights, individual freedom, and development of a market economy are core to the party's beliefs. Under the leadership of Nana Akufo-Addo, the NPP will continue to uphold the separation of powers, the independence of the judiciary, and strengthen the capacity of the legislature, including the key area of its oversight responsibility, especially in financial scrutiny of bills, budgets, and agreements brought before the House. We will respect and protect media freedom and make it easier to access the information machinery of the state. We are committed to and will support the passage of the Freedom of Information Act. The transformation program will only be meaningful if we strongly support a strengthened and truly independent judiciary to deliver justice to all to keep our democracy intact. We will support the judiciary to expand its capacity with training to enhance the dignity and integrity of the profession. New court buildings will be constructed to bring justice closer to the people. We will also assist the judiciary to extend the automation project to all high courts and lower courts in order to fast-track justice delivery, enhance efficiency, promote human rights, and cut down on the cost associated with delays. Access to legal aid will be expanded to ensure that no Ghanaian is denied justice. We will tackle corruption through a principled leadership that sees protecting the public purse as its firm duty. We will also introduce institutional reforms that will enhance the autonomy, confidence, and funding of a statutory anti-corruption institution. We will strengthen the institutions of governance so that they work without undue political interference. We will strengthen the Ministry of Justice and significantly increase the number of prosecutors in the regions to speed up justice delivery. We will vigorously pursue the National Decentralization Plan. We will strengthen policy coordination and implementation from the Office of the President. We will put back on course the National Addressing System and the National Identification Scheme to enable us plan effectively our development. 3. Access to good quality education matters. Our education system is in serious crisis. Out of 100 of our children that start kindergarten, only 71 end up in primary school. Only 65 will go up to junior high school. Out of that, only 35 progress to senior high school, and only 3 will end up in university. University admissions have been growing at about 10% per annum over the last decade, but there is a need for more tertiary institutions to accommodate the growing demand. However, at all stages, many of our children and youth fall out because they cannot afford to go on. The level of wastage is too high. Consequently, many of our children and youth are not well prepared for the job market because they lack the requisite quality of education and skills. The current state of our education is simply not acceptable. It is saddled with lack of access, deplorable quality, and limited relevance to the job market. Unless we seriously tackle these problems, we will not achieve the requisite critical mass of high-quality resources to facilitate our transformation program. Education will be a top priority in an Akufo-Addo presidency because it offers the best tool for social mobility and social equity. Our aim is to build a competent, confident, educated society where access to education will not be determined by the circumstances of your birth. Access to quality and values-based education for everyone is the basis of a successful economy, a successful society, and a successful people. We need to build a lot more schools and ensure good quality education. Our transformation program in education has specific objectives. The aim at the primary and secondary levels is to get all our children to be functionally literate, numerate, ICT competent, and equipped for the job market, and/or further education with greater sense of civic responsibility. At the secondary and tertiary levels, we aim to equip our youth with analytical and competence-based skills that will be needed for the transformation of the economy. In this regard, an emphasis on science and technology is also critical as we transform our economy. Additionally, we will aim at drastically improving literacy in our country to improve social and economic efficiency. Our education policy must address the deficiencies in our human resource. This is critical to our transformation program and our development. Our specific initiatives in the education transformation program will include the following. 1. Teachers First. Currently, it is estimated that there are about more than 240,000 teachers registered in Ghana. Over 10% of that number are untrained and teach in the rural areas. According to the figures from the Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service, Ghana has a teacher deficit of about 60,000. Many of our teachers are overstretched and do not have the necessary facilities and conditions to make them bring out their best. The profession suffers low esteem primarily due to a lack of appreciation of its importance in shaping the quality of our people and lack of support. It is said, quote, "The quality of an education system cannot exceed the quality of its teachers," unquote. Our teachers are paramount in our efforts to provide quality education for our children. As a result, a Teachers First policy will focus on raising the support and quality of our teachers through monitored and evaluated training, professional development, and improved incentives. Additionally, there is a need to attract, train, and retain more young professionals into the teaching profession, especially in the rural areas. Accordingly, we will facilitate teacher training nationwide, as well as special incentives, especially for those who teach in rural areas. Our objective is to transform our teachers to enable them to lead the transformation of the quality of our students. We expect that enhanced teacher training, monitoring, and evaluation will result in better performance in school and student results. Additionally, we will ensure that there's performance evaluation right to the level of directors in the education industry to enable us achieve value in their outcomes. Arabic or Islamic instructors in the Zongos and parts of northern Ghana were paid allowances under the National Volunteer Service Program in the Kufuor-led NPP government. We will continue with the policy and additionally support Arabic and Islamic instructors with training and other incentives to motivate them, provide good training to our children. A major incentive scheme will be government support for teachers to acquire homes. 2. Redefinition of basic education. Over half of Ghanaian children who sit the BECE do not progress to secondary school. The situation where over 150,000 Ghanaian children every year are thrown out of the system is not acceptable. There are approximately 3.8 million persons of secondary school age in Ghana, of which 1.2 million are enrolled in 415 public secondary schools and 100 privately owned and managed ones. Less than half our children are in secondary school. To solve this problem, we will extend free senior high school education to every child. We will also address the problem of high dropout rates at the primary and secondary levels. Basic education will be redefined as from kindergarten up to and including SHS. 3. Free universal secondary education. We are fully committed to making secondary education free for every Ghanaian child. By free SHS, we mean free tuition, admission, textbook, library, science center, computer, examination, utilities, boarding, and meals. Although the cost of free secondary school education will be high at an additional 1% of Ghana's total income, the alternative of a largely uneducated and unskilled workforce is a situation Ghana cannot afford. So NPP will prioritize and fund this expenditure using budgetary resources, including resources from oil exports, in the interest of the long-term growth of Ghana's economy. 4. The 3 R's: reading, writing, arithmetic, and ICT proficiency. Too many children leave school unable to read, write, or count, and those who can in many cases have a low level of proficiency even at the secondary school level. Additionally, the quality of ICT training is inadequate and in deprived areas substandard because of the lack of resources. We will implement our 3 R's policy in concert with our teachers through monitored programs and assessments. This will ensure that basic education provides every Ghanaian with adequate literacy, numeracy, and basic ICT skills. We will work towards providing every basic school with ICT infrastructure in consonance with the private sector to enable ICT education. Our policy will include meeting student needs of equipment, conducive learning environments, and implementing pedagogy models suited to values-based education and implementing performance data to enable tracking and monitoring of teacher and school accountability. 5. Vocational, technical skills training, and apprenticeship. Our economy currently faces a problem of lack of the requisite job skills, particularly at the technical level. We need a workforce that is skilled, creative, and can do things such as skilled craftsmen, artisans, and technicians, because they are critical to an industrialized economy. We will introduce and improve upon existing skills training programs to give our young people the practical skills they need to get a job, as well as to drive a new industrialized economy. In partnership with the private sector, we will facilitate and support rapid development of skills, including apprenticeship training for graduates with vocational and technical schools. Additionally, we will involve the private sector in designing our tertiary level courses to ensure our students graduate with the skills they need to get a job and be productive in a new industrialized economy. We will engage and provide the business community with incentives to facilitate work placements, internships, industrial attachments, and volunteerism for students before and after graduation. Our transformation program will create opportunities in industry to harness technical skills, especially from our polytechnics and other vocational institutions. 6. Education infrastructure expansion and improvement. We recognize that our educational infrastructure is woefully inadequate and development has not kept pace with demand. We have serious capacity issues nationwide, especially in the rural areas, and many schools still exist with inadequate basic facilities. We will undertake a major expansion and overhaul of educational facilities and support provision of innovative forms of education delivery and teaching aids, including modern laboratories and libraries. This will make it possible for the non-traditional student to acquire skills in weekend schools, workshops, community-supported special classes. We will ensure that quality education is extended to the rural areas by the use of technology. Recorded lectures will be made available via the internet to be accessed by school. We will foster and improve partnership with religious and non-state bodies at the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels in the provision, supervision, and management of education. We will promote community ownership and involvement in our schools. We believe it's important to engage religious and non-religious bodies in our efforts to improve access to good quality values-based education. Arabic or Islamic English schools, which have been mainstreamed into our educational system, do not have the required infrastructure to train our Muslim children. Under our school infrastructure program, we will target such schools and support them with infrastructure and make teaching and learning effective. 7. Science, technology, and innovation. Science, technology, and innovation are the foundations of the modern economy. They also provide the most important pillar on which economic development depends. Nations that have made major strides in improving the lives of their people have integrated science and technology into their development planning. We must therefore put a high premium on science, technology, and innovation in our education modules to enable us train more scientists and technologists who can bring innovation into the real economy through research. Other areas of focus and initiatives in education include effective implementation of universal enrollment at the basic level, upgrade all technical and vocational institutions to state-of-the-art facilities, accelerate the provision of technical and vocational institutions in every district, make English and maths integral parts of the technical education curriculum to make sure that every graduate has a full complement of communication and numeracy competencies in addition to their technical skills. Promote the open university system to enable workers and adults who missed out on the educational opportunities in their youth have a chance to educate themselves. expand access to further education at the district level for both full-time and part-time adults. Continue with the policy initiated by the NPP government of providing modern library complex for every district with modern ICT facilities. Special needs education will receive critical attention to ensure that no child is denied an education because of a disability. We are committed to the building of a modern disability assessment center and the promotion of regular checks on children for early detection and management of disabilities. Accelerate the implementation of providing one public university per region. Work with NGOs and other identified groups to promote the awareness of the crucial nature of reading and functional literacy for the individual, as well as the development of society.
Quality health and safety matter. Too many Ghanaians die needlessly. Currently, access to good quality healthcare is poor and too expensive. Good quality health facilities are few and definitely inadequate, especially in the rural areas. We are also faced with a scourge of 30% of medicines entering our market being fake, further complicating our health challenges. The last NPP government introduced significant initiatives to expand health service coverage, the most important of these being the NHIS. We have a good record of care and achievement. We expanded the training of health personnel and established the College of Physicians and Surgeons, which has led to a dramatic improvement in the retention of doctors. Unfortunately, the scheme has deteriorated and needs urgent and competent attention to survive. Our focus will be to ensure, in partnership with the private sector nationwide, access to affordable basic primary and quality healthcare delivery. Additionally, we will need to solve the problem of inadequate health facilities and personnel. Some of our policies initiative will include the following: public health and sanitation. Malaria alone takes 43% of all hospital appearances in Ghana and continues to take its toll on the nation's morbidity and mortality with its associated economic implications. We are going to refocus on tackling the cause of this and thereby significantly reduce the impact of malaria. Poor sanitation and public health management has led to sporadic and epidemic cholera outbreaks even in the urban areas. The problems of public health all hinge on good sanitation practices. Accordingly, we will do the following: review and enforce sanitation laws, including enforcement of the work of sanitation workers. Construction of more waste treatment and management facilities. Introduce sanitation education into the school curriculum. Facilitates and supports growth of a vibrant pharmaceutical industry in Ghana, including the establishment of a bioequivalent center to research and certify the manufacture of quality anti-malaria and other medicines in Ghana. Ensure that district assemblies create a task force of sanitation inspectors. Health enhancing. The NHIS scheme we proposed and implemented in 2003 cannot be allowed to fail. Under the NDC government, it faces collapse with a perilous lack of care and poor management, compounded by uncertainties over the fate of the proposed one-time premium payment. The NHIS currently contributes to 40% of total budget of the health sector. We will implement the original plan under the NHIS and offer better management to make it sustainable. Additionally, we will encourage other health insurance schemes and private sector participation in financing health access. Maternal and child morbidity and mortality. Our maternal and infant mortality rates are still very high. We will revive the implementation of the original Kufuor policy of free maternal health care and free health care for less than 18-year-olds. We will introduce and facilitate a program of increased training and placement of midwives nationwide. We will prioritize maternal and adolescent reproductive health. The NPP will enhance the National Family Planning Program to ensure voluntary access by all couples and individuals who need it. We shall also examine the feasibility of funding the program through the NHIS and other sources. The needs of the estimated 36% of women who need family planning will be addressed with well-managed education and service programs. Mental health. Life is hard in Ghana today, and there is deterioration in the psychosocial cushions our society provides, leading to increases in mental health issues. Drug and alcohol abuse are also menaces we need to curtail in our communities. In building a society of opportunities, we will pay more attention to mental health and help people with mental diseases to return to good health and contribute to society. For a nation of over 24 million, to boast not of more than 5 qualified psychiatrists is a travesty. We will increase and improve the mental health facility and train more psychiatrists, clinical and social psychologists, and other mental health professionals. Community nursing and health. Many of our communities, especially those in the rural areas, lack any form of primary healthcare facility, and many of our people needlessly see their health deteriorating because they do not get any advice or access to basic primary health care. We will ensure that every deprived community will have a community nurse. We will be responsible for primary health care in beneficiary communities. Health infrastructure. We will ensure that good quality health facilities are available in every region by ensuring that existing regional clinics and hospitals are upgraded. Additionally, we will work with the private sector towards having 3 more hospitals in the country to serve our people as well as the West African region under our medical tourism strategy. We will also construct health centers, community health training schools, nursing and midwifery training schools, and 2 new schools of hygiene. Housing matters. The NPP believes that every Ghanaian should aspire to own a decent home. Ghana currently has a housing deficit estimated at over 1,500,000 units, with an increase in demand of 70,000 housing units annually. It is estimated that more than 50% of Ghanaians live in substandard houses, deprived inner city dwellings, uncompleted houses, containers, shops, kiosks, and other unsuitable structures. Availability of land and land title is also a major problem for developers. To address these key challenges, the NPP policy on housing has 3 objectives. 1. To improve affordability and access to decent homes for all working Ghanaians and their families in new modern communities. 2. To develop social housing programs to address the housing needs of vulnerable and marginal groups. 3. Provide improved infrastructure and quality of life in our existing communities. Accordingly, we will promulgate the National Housing Policy, which will provide the overall policy framework for the industry. Establish a housing agency dedicated to facilitating the role of the private sector players. Example is GRIDA, in delivering both social housing and low and mid-income housing schemes across the country. Encourage the private sector to partner with metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies to build affordable rental units across the country. In recognition of the fact that a majority of Ghanaians who desperately seek decent accommodation may not necessarily be in a position to purchase a house, the NPP will introduce a paradigm shift in solving the accommodation needs of Ghanaians across the length and breadth of the country. We will seek to increase the national housing delivery to at least 100,000 units annually by the end of the first term by following a 2-pronged policy approach. Firstly, we will build affordable housing units for rental across Ghana in partnership with the proposed housing agency, Metropolitan Municipal and District Assemblies (MMDAs) and private sector, GREDA, in public-private partnership (PPP) arrangement. We would encourage MMDAs to set up a dedicated district housing fund from the proposed 2.5% increase in common fund allocation to provide infrastructure for social housing schemes. Rents collected shall go into a revolving fund at the district level for the maintenance and expansion of the housing stock. Secondly, through the housing agency, we will support the provision of affordable housing for Ghanaians eager to buy their own houses by partnering the private sector operators like GREDA and others. We will further assist private sector operators by providing secure land banks, infrastructure, tax and other incentives, financing and guarantees for them to deliver affordable housing so that all Ghanaians can have the opportunity to gradually meet their aspirations of home ownership. Non-profit community-based housing development will be encouraged based on successful models in other countries. The housing agency to be established by the NPP government shall be dedicated to developing new communities and townships. The agency shall be responsible for the acquisition, development, management, and disposition of land banks for housing development. It will also raise funds from local and international sources for housing infrastructure development in new and existing housing development areas through sources such as housing bonds, pension funds, loans, and others, and will partner and provide guarantees to the private sector to deliver affordable housing. Our housing delivery strategy will extend beyond the cities to plan new settlements in the districts in line with our objective of developing growth poles to support our industrialization strategy. This strategy will involve removing all institutional infrastructure and other bottlenecks and using local materials in construction. A key priority for us in 2013 will be the immediate completion of the 5,200 units of housing started when the NPP was in power and totally abandoned by the current government to provide accommodation for our teachers, nurses, civil servants, and security agencies, among others. To address the difficult problems of access to land and security of title, we will do the following: accelerate implementation of the land title registration and land administration projects to ensure an efficient registration system and land use. Develop a regulatory framework to enable government and other private sector operators to acquire and finance land banks nationwide to facilitate access to land with secure tenure. Improve the speed, efficiency, and effectiveness of the processes for resolving land disputes.